Hello, everyone, and welcome to another segment of Ageless Beauty, Body, Mind, and Spirit. And I am so happy to introduce a new friend of mine to you. Her name is Bobbe Greenberg, and we are so happy to have you. Say hello.
Hello. Happy to be here.
I'm so happy. I met Bobbe in an odd way because I was looking for a female athlete who is over 60, somebody who has done some interesting things in her life and has this perspective of an athlete in senior years. And I was reading a blog and reading magazine articles and different things, and here she was. And I have to surprise you with what she is famous for. Let me tell you a little bit about our guest, Bobbe, today. So she is a wife of 50 years, a mother of 2 terrific daughters, and a grandma of 4 fabulous grandkids. She lives in Highland Park, a tree-lined suburb along Lake Michigan, north of Chicago, where she recently retired from teaching English and coaching cross-country and track. So there's a little hint about what she's famous for. At 72, she enjoys the good fortune of being healthy and fit enough to play outside all day long with her friends. And currently, she is ranked #1 as the 2018 Ironman World Champion for women 70 to 74. Oh, I just love it. She looks forward to defending her title in Kona, Hawaii. When is that, Bobbe? When is that?
October.
October, okay.
It's every October.
Okay, October 2019.
Yes.
In Kona, Hawaii, racing her 14th Ironman Triathlon. She loves the endurance lifestyle, appreciates her good luck, and can't help but share her joy in this journey. Oh, such a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, there's a couple of things just in reading about you that brought questions up that I want to know. So inquiring minds want to know. One is that you're healthy and fit enough to play outside all day long with your friends. And I think our viewers remember feeling like that when they were 9 years old. But now, health and fitness are not just pie in the sky aspirations, apparently. And so your aim is to teach the world the value of being and doing exactly what you want that gives you joy for as long as you live. So when did this become apparent to you that you were different than everybody in your age group, mostly?
Yeah, I don't know that I would agree with that. And I don't know that I've come to that epiphany either. I think luck has a lot to do with it. And I believe that. I do have the mental game, that's for sure. I can't even imagine quitting or dropping out or anything like that in a competition. But yeah, I think I've just been lucky and have enjoyed the joy of participating in this. I was a teacher. I would have summers off. And once I started this lifestyle, I couldn't believe that I wasn't doing it earlier, because we live a mile from the beach, and summers would go by and I'd never put a bathing suit on. And now I'm outside all the time, and the outdoors definitely speaks to me. And I love the social aspect of all of this too. All the training is with lots and lots. I have lots of friends that also do this, and I love their company, and I like everything about it.
It's funny how you can do that thing where you get somewhere in the middle of your life and you discover something, and it's like, where have you been all my life? And I think you touch on something very important, because a lot of people listening may be in this phase where they're trying to start over. They're trying to turn over a new leaf, trying to pay more attention to their health, their lifestyle, their body. And one of the first things that happens, I've noticed with my own fitness clients, is they start to have a little progress. And then they have friends around them that are like, you look really great, but well, what, they start to feel a little bit like challenged because they're not doing it too. And sometimes there are friends who will kind of pull back or like pull back away, or try to dissuade them. Well, you don't really need to go to the gym today, do you? But it sounds like you have created a community of friends who are on the same page with you.
Absolutely. Yes.
It's very, It's an important aspect.
And I have them everywhere where each of my daughter, I have a daughter that lives in California and another daughter that lives in Providence, Rhode Island. And I'm a member of the Ronald McDonald Running Club in Providence and work out on the Brown University track when I'm there. When we visit in Florida, where my parents had a condominium, I'm a member of the Fort Lauderdale Triathletes. I have clubs at home where I live. Also in California, there's the Mount Tam Runners and I have a lot of contacts now in a lot of places because I'm not able to do any of this alone. It's impossible for me to work out by myself.
That's wonderful. And because I'm highlighting this because it's very important that we as women continually evaluate who's around us and know that the people around you influence what you become, and always pick people around you that have similar goals and similar aspirations or have similar passions. And it sounds like you're the embodiment of that, Bobbe.
I just like people who like to sweat. That's it. I have a very narrow criteria for choosing my friends.
I think that's fabulous. Well, how old were you when you made that first discovery where you're like, oh, I have to do this all the time now?
So there's a few steps. When I was in my mid-50s, I remember walking by my reflection in a storefront and seeing some poor posture. And so that compelled me to join a gym. And I remember when I went in there and they asked, well, what are your goals? Is it to lose weight? Is it to, and I just want to improve my posture. I remember that was my goal. Mm-hmm. But when I joined, they had spin classes. That's when spinning became popular. Mm-hmm. And the teacher of the class was, we're having an indoor triathlon. And so it's a swim and a bike and a run, and you swim for 10 minutes and bike for 20 minutes on a stationary bicycle and run on a treadmill for 15 minutes. And I was like, okay, I could do that. Well, I didn't know how to swim, but I thought I'll just run back and forth in the pool because it was only waist deep. Right. How hard is that? And then as the time grew closer, I thought I should know how to swim. And I wasn't afraid of water. On vacations, I play with my kids in the pool or in an ocean, but I jump off diving boards, but I don't think I ever actually swam a lap. Uh-huh. So I took a workshop to learn that skill, and I thought, oh, this will be easy. I'm an adult learning to swim. How hard could that be? Which I didn't know how technical it is. But in any event, I was able to do that indoor triathlon, and there were only 3 women, and I won. And that's all that needed to happen. And then I wanted to do a real one that was outdoors, a sprint. Right. And another one that was Olympic distance. And then the next year I did a half Ironman and another Olympic, and I knew I wasn't getting any younger. And so my first Ironman was at age 59, the week I turned 59.
Oh, that's fantastic. It's never too late.
And never too late.
Yeah. And it's, I love hearing that progression, how you kept stepping farther and farther into the sport and finding, well, now what's next? Well, what about that? Well, I guess I can do that. I'm going to try it. And it doesn't sound like you had a lot of fear. Were you ever afraid?
No, in spite of, I had a swim coach who thought I had, I think her choice was you choose very unusual goals for yourself. And I think she didn't think I'd be able to do the distance. But no, I'm pretty fearless about most things, even stupidly. Mm-hmm. I take chances that I probably shouldn't, but I don't scare too easily.
That's good. Well, it sounds like you've made some good decisions so far, and I think it's an inspiration because there's a lot of people who feel like when they get into their 50s, 60s, or 70s that, oh, it's time to slow down and I should behave properly according to my age. But those definitions of what's proper for a certain age are kind of melting away with our generation, I think.
And another thing about the sport that I love for melting away those kinds of preconceived ideas is everybody knows your age. So usually women of a certain age don't want people to know that. In my age group, people love aging up into the next age group. It's like a remarkable accomplishment that you were a year older. And the other thing is you start the race at 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning in your bathing suit or your tri-suit, and you're wearing it all day long for the next 13, 14, up to 17 hours, that's how you look. However you get out of the ocean,
Mm-hmm.
that's how you look the rest of the day. So those kinds of ideas about how women of a certain age should behave or look,
Yeah.
I can't subscribe to.
Yes. It's like, this is me, like it or don't, but it's
Right.
gonna be the way it is. Oh, I just got a goosebumps when you said that thing about the age, because I am always on a crusade of telling people my age, because I got the clear message that that's important, because people need to know that somebody in their 60s is a competitive bodybuilder, just like that women in their 70s need to know there's a woman in her 70s doing a triathlon or an Ironman. I mean,
I get a, oh, bless your heart for that.
yeah, but it's part of the message. I've had, clients that are in their 80s and they do amazing, like, an expedition to Antarctica that they come and train for. And I tell people, and they're like, shh, don't tell people how old I am. I said, you get on the roof with a megaphone and
Right.
tell people how old you are, because
Exactly.
you're not normal. It's like, it's important.
Not normal. That's a good thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we want to make it more normal. That's my mission, and it sounds like yours too. In the introduction, in the comments that you gave me, you mentioned that you love the endurance lifestyle. Tell me what the endurance lifestyle entails.
I like having a purpose. I like having something to do. I retired at age 70, and my last year of teaching, I wanted to cry every day. It was like, this is my last spelling bee. This is my last cross country meet. And I had great kids, and I was really reluctant to retire. So I had a view of my just being home waiting for the mail to come, drinking my 10th cup of coffee, which isn't the case, because I try to get to the gym every day. During the summer, I'm out riding my bike or running with my friends, or swimming, going to the pool, going to the lake. I like keeping busy, and I like being with other people. So this gives me that joy. And when I'm training and sweating, and I'm particularly on terrible days. So I'm a member of a running club in Chicago, and we run a long distance running club every Saturday, no matter what the weather. We run outside all winter long, and if it's raining, it doesn't matter. And I love that, because there's something naughty about it. My husband will say, well, if the roads are closed, no one's going to be there. And then I go there, and there's 20 other crazies that are also there. And so I love that. And the heat and sweating, and it makes me feel very vibrant and vital and youthful. Yes. So all of those things give me a lot of pleasure. And I don't know another way I can get that, or I would try that too.
Yeah. Boy, I empathize completely. It's funny, because when people get started, of course, it's a lot of work because the body's not used to it. But as you move, our bodies are designed to move. They're supposed to move. And when we don't move, that's when things start to go haywire. And you're moving all the time. And the sweating that you talk about, how it makes you feel alive. I can remember the first time I went and worked out with a bodybuilding trainer. I wasn't thinking about competing. I didn't even know how to properly do a dumbbell curl. But I remember how the first time since I was a child, I could feel the blood pounding in my ears. And I felt the sweat trickling down my neck. And I was like, oh, this is like when I was a little kid. And I ran and then fell onto the grass and felt that cold grass on my skin, and just listened to the pounding in my head. And I associate that kind of expenditure of energy, like you're talking about, with being a kid. That's that young feeling, right?
Definitely. I'll race you to the stop sign.
Yes.
But yes. I also get that I'll be getting on an airplane, and people look at my face, and they're like, can we help you put your bag into the overhead compartment? I'm like, I can do it. There's a satisfaction right there, or a feeling of accomplishment. Look at me.
Excuse me, sir. Let me help you with your bag.
Let me help you with your bag, sir.
That I do. Like, Yeah, it looks a little heavy for you. That's awesome. Yeah. And also, how about you have to eat in a certain way to have so much endurance, don't you?
Yes. So for sure, when I'm in heavy training, I'm burning a lot of calories, but I've always had a really big appetite.
That's good.
And I'm famous for it. I still do. My husband used to challenge fraternity brothers when we were in college. And at my retirement banquet, they made a video and everybody talked about how much I ate. That was like, that's the highlight of what people remember about me. I'm kind of famous for the amount that I consume. So I try to eat clean as far as not having a lot of processed foods. So there is an abundance of fresh produce in my refrigerator all the time, but there's also ice cream in my freezer. So
Yeah.
I have a sweet tooth and I'm not going to deny that either.
That's fine. And the friends of mine who are runners, they really can consume more sugar and get away with it because they burn it right off. So yeah, that's one of the benefits.
Guilty pleasure.
Yes, it's great. Well, and it's sustainable. I mean, people, when you say an endurance lifestyle, I can imagine, let me ask you this. This is a different sort of approach. Do people ever say to you, they don't do what you do, but they're friends of yours, and they say, how do you do that? It's so hard, and I can't be that disciplined. What do you say to somebody like that?
So I'm not a disciplined person. I'm kind of a flake, except when I have commitments to other people. So that's why I crave other people's company because that keeps me honest.
Mm-hmm.
So even if I'm going to the gym to take a class, I pretend like I have to be there at that class as if people are depending on me, which isn't true at all. But if it were up to me and it was a gorgeous day and I said, oh, I should get in a couple of miles of running, I can't motivate. So I totally understand that. Uh-huh. And I also think a lot of people think that being at the gym is being on a treadmill which would not give me pleasure either. Yeah. But I love being outside but just at any of the things where my friends are, I don't have a coach. I'm not coachable because I'm going to do whatever my friends are doing. So if they're swimming at a certain time or running, then I'll join in the fun. Yeah. And then I also sign up for, I'm a track workout or a master swim group or places where people are going to be at a certain time at a certain day.
So you go because you have a commitment to other people. Yes. And that's part of what keeps you honest, so to speak.
Even if it's a pretend commitment, because
you can trick your mind.
The track workout's going to go on whether I show up or not, but I sign up for things, and so I feel obligated to be there.
My friends will miss me if I'm not there.
Yes. I'm very important like that.
I need to be there for them. Yeah, that's great. I can relate. People say all the time, oh, well, great for you to be a bodybuilder, but that's way too much commitment. Well, if I don't have a trainer standing there tapping his foot, I'm like, well, I'm kind of tired today. I'll just skip. But I know my trainer's waiting for me. And I've already paid him, so I'm not going to waste the money, and I'm not going to disappoint him. And so it's sort of like it's an artifice that gets me there. And then once I'm there, I absolutely love it. But I will talk myself out of it if I don't have somebody there. And that's why having friends or having a trainer helps a lot.
Or even this morning I was doing a rowing machine, and I was doing it, but as soon as there was someone over my shoulder looking at the watts, all of a sudden I got a lot faster.
Yeah, because you're being observed, of course. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's awesome. Now, when we were talking earlier and getting acquainted, you were talking about, I was sort of, applauding your accomplishment, and you're like, yeah, but there aren't that many women in their 70s who do this, so it's not super competitive in my age class. And you made the observation that women in their 40s and 50s, those classes of Ironman are very robust.
Yes.
There's a lot of competitors, and it's very alive. And then 60s, it kind of starts to go down. And then the 70s, there's very just skeleton crew. So what do you think about that?
It makes me sad because I think I'm signed up for like 16 races this year, not all triathlons, some are running races or swim, whatever. And I'm always surprised at how few people are in my age group. And many races, there's no one in my age group. So I come in first, I'm also coming in last. That 1 out of 1 is, there's no denying I was in last place as well. And it's not as much fun. You know, my husband tries to bolster it by telling me if I beat men in my age group or the women under me, but you're really just competing against yourself.
Right.
But this year in Kona, the World Championship, there were 13 women that were supposed to be on the start line. I believe only 10 actually did it, but that boosted my spirits to no end to know that there was, and most of them had been there many times before. So it wasn't just 13 women, it was 13 strong women, and everyone, in order to do that race, had to win an Ironman somewhere else. I think there's 40 races all over the world. So that's very encouraging for me, but I don't understand why just even this 65-year-old age group or the 60-year-old age group is so much larger. So unless people get sick, or I'm not sure what happens, but something happens. And
I have a theory, and I think it's because there's a collective agreement in society that sort of, it's a belief that we all share, whether we buy into it or not, we know about it, that says that when you're in your 70s, you need to calm down and take it easy and go on a cruise and, just like not get out there and pound the pavement or whatever. But my life mission is to call that out and do what
I agree.
Yeah, I know you do.
My husband once said that he thought that we're given a certain number of breaths and I'm using all mine up too soon.
Well, there is oxidative stress on the body when you exercise. However, there are ways to rejuvenate it. And when you exercise and you give your body a job to do, and it understands and you're respecting its limitations as you progress, your body will rise to the occasion. And it will get stronger, and you actually can rewrite your genetic code. It's epigenetics is the newest the newest body of study out there now that's really exciting, that you are not a victim of your genes. You may be blessed with good genes. I mean, are there runners before you in your family or athletic people?
My dad was athletic. He was in his late 70s, maybe even in his 80s, when he was still playing tennis one day and golf the next.
Yeah.
Every day. So he was pretty physically active.
Yeah. So yeah, you probably have a good gene pool, but you haven't wasted it either. You've worked it, which is really, really commendable. I think probably my father was also an influence on me. We climbed Mount Whitney together when he was 7.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And
cool.
His knees bothered him a lot, but we made it. Hey, that brings up another thing too. Now, I know that athletes, me included, need to have good practitioners in our posse. When you get a sprained ankle or a frozen shoulder or a sore back or something, do you have a team like physical therapist and a sports medicine doctor that you go to?
So I never get injured in the traditional way of overuse injuries or just use injuries. Those, luckily, knock on wood, don't happen to me. But I am the clumsiest person in the world. And I was that way even when I was younger. It's not an old age loss of balance. Yes. So I do injure myself with great frequency. This year, I broke 3 fingers in one hand running. So tripping over my own feet, and broke another finger on another hand running, and broke a wrist in the gym a few years ago, and broke my collarbone on the bike. And abrasions all over I fell down a flight of stairs last week. So little things like that happen to me constantly. And I have, there's an orthopedic surgeon that I went to see, and all he does, if he says, "You're fine," then I walk out of there and I'm fine. It's like, even though I walked in there and something was very wrong, as soon as he says that to me, then it's like, oh, I can, and he says, "You're not injuring it more." And then there's also a physical therapist that uses I say she like waves her magic wand on me with pixie dust. She has an arsenal of things that she does, and it's like I'm all better, like instantly. So
Yes.
I don't know how much of it is
It's
mental or
yeah,
I
no.
don't know.
Well, yeah, you highlight a very important thing, and that is people as they get older worry about falling and they
Mhm.
worry about having balance because they notice maybe they're a little unsteady or I think they're just paying more attention sometimes and realize it. But the truth of the matter is everybody falls. Even when we're in our 20s, everybody falls. But when you are physically fit and you are an athlete and you take care of your body, you fall better. So you might break a little something or scrape a little something, but you come through it okay and you heal and you go right on with your day. And I think that's really important. It's when your bones get porous and brittle, that's when you get a bad break, like a hip or something like that. And so we want to avoid those things by staying in motion and in putting strain on the skeleton. That's what keeps it strong.
I had a friend that said that they have a drinking game to name all of my injuries. Every time I come back from vacation or something, if I'm whole, it's like, what have they're disappointed.
That's diabolical.
I know.
Well, I have a magical physical therapist as well, and it's one of those things where I always joke with a sports medicine doctor, a functional neurologist, and a physical therapist. I have become fearless because I know no matter what happens to me, they'll fix it. I think it's an important thing to have. So taking care of yourself and eating right and eating to fit your sport and also living in a way that you describe sounds sublime because you are really getting to live the way everybody wants to. The way you say, I get to go outside and play with my friends. I was like, that's what we do when we're kids.
Right. So I do work out. Like my two really good friends are, one's 22 years younger than me. She just aged into the 50-year-old category, which now is more competitive than it was when she was in the 45-year-old category. And
Funny.
another friend that's 29, and they never let me play the age card. So while I can't really keep up with them, we're able to work out together side by side, and they can lap me on the track or whatever.
Sure.
But they always have very high expectations for me, more than I have for myself. And
Yeah.
one friend in particular, she never lets me think I'm old or
There you go. Yes. Yes.
imagine I'm old or whatever.
Yes.
She's like, you can do that. Or if we'll be talking, we'll be on spin bikes next to each other, and she'll say, you can keep pedaling and talking. So she's like cracking the whip all the time, and I love her for that.
Yes. It sounds to me like you've done a really good job of surrounding yourself with the right kind of people that you're going to live to be 120. I mean, it's going to be an interesting life from now on. It doesn't slow down. It's just,
On the other hand, I did an Ironman where my whole family came out. It was in Arizona. So there were 35 family members that were there for Thanksgiving. It's the weekend before Thanksgiving. And as I'm running along on the course, my little grandsons are running alongside with me saying, Grandma, why are you running so slow? It's like,
like some people can
keeping me
never,
honest.
I mean, when they get older, you can tell them, so, most people can never say that to their grandmother. Why are you running so slow? Because they don't run at all.
That's true.
Oh, it's awesome. Next time you're in Arizona, because that's where I live, you're going to have
I
to let me
know.
can come out and cheer you on. I'm not a runner myself, but I am a huge fan of the athletic pursuit and setting those gnarly goals for yourself and not being fearful of it and just going for it no matter what. That's really at the heart of this. That's what connects all athletes, I think.
Or maybe we could just go get a sandwich.
We could do that too. We can go to the Sugar Bowl and get some ice cream.
Yeah, that sounds great.
I get to have ice cream when I'm not training for a stage competition. I can have ice cream too. Oh, well, Bobbe, if you had the power to put up a billboard along your highway near your house for everyone to see, what would be on it? What would you want to say to everyone?
I'm stumped now. Do it. I don't know all those slogans. Just
Well,
I don't know, because I feel like so much of it has to do with my good luck or good fortune or whatever that I'm able to do it, and so
yeah. What are you excited
so much
about?
part of it, but I would just say grab at life every day with both hands and
Yeah, that's good.
pull it into your heart. And
That's beautiful. I think you should do it. You should put up a billboard.
Oh yeah.
What?
People be driving by and they'd like close their eyes.
Don't remind me that I'm not living up to your standards. Besides your race in Kona this next fall, what else are you looking forward to in 2019? Do you have any special projects or plans, personally or professionally?
So last week I was in the Miami Marathon, half marathon, and pushed a differently abled athlete for power. I was a power buddy for Special Compass, and that was super fun. And then in a couple of weeks, there's another half marathon here, and then another one the next month. And then it starts triathlon season. So I'll be doing a few half Ironman and some Olympic distances. Yeah, what your question, did it ask what's in my future for?
Yes. So it sounds like you have a lot of competitions that they're just kind of lined up and they're just coming up pretty soon.
I know the right answer would be I'm just going to cook delicious dinners for my husband every night. I know that that's what you love me to be saying.
I would not expect that from you.
I am a good cook.
Okay.
I do it with less frequency than I should, and that he desires.
Yeah. Oh, I think you should write a book, and I will be the first person in line at your book signing about your story, about what you do with photographs.
Book signing?
But yeah, I'll be at your book signing. and with photographs of the things you've described, your different races, the running with the wheelchair, and some of the cool giving back things that you do too would be fabulous. Well, Bobbe, I've enjoyed talking with you so much. I wish we had more time. I could talk to you all day.
Thank you. This has been fun.
It has been fun.
I can talk all day too. That's my big talent.
Is that your super?
That's it. People are like, "Can you make the story shorter, please?" Or they'll just walk away. I'll be mid-sentence.
Even your friend who said you could keep talking while you're pedaling didn't.
Yes.
Oh, well, thank you so much.
Like succinct would be better.
Yeah, right. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. And I know our viewers are going to have strong reactions to what you had to say in a good way. I think you are an inspiration for our generation, and you're the face. You're the face of what we want our next 25 years to be all about. To be healthy and to be able to do exactly what you want to do. All the options are open because you're healthy and you're balanced and everything that you're doing is sustainable. And I just think you're amazing.
Oh, well, thank you so much.
All right. Well,
you're amazing too.
Thank you. Let's say goodbye for now, and maybe we'll meet again.
I hope so.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.